So I guess I believe we should start out with well, first off, I am Brandon. Welcome to ABC.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Alex.
Yes, I believe we should start off with the shows that we haven't already cemented in. So we'll leave the actual shows we like later for later.
I also want to
The
point out
cherry
to
on
our
top.
audience of 0 people that after bringing in our special guest, literally the next possible week he can't make it. Fucking asshole.
Yeah, Jeffrey's no longer here. That is why I did not actually give him a profile picture.
He's never gonna make it back to reoccurring character. He's never gonna do it. I swear to God.
He's still what was it?
Special guest.
Special guest? I guess so.
Yeah.
Would it be
Isn't that usually what it is? If people show up for one episode of a thing, it usually says like
well
guest
in order to be like
starring or special guest.
usually it's special guest if like people know who they are. In this case, it's just some bumfuck who like came onto the show at some point.
True, but if we couldn't exactly say that any of us are starring in this show since nobody knows who the fuck any of us are.
Well, we've been
watches
here
this.
from the beginning at least, and like continually stayed on. So we're at least stars of this show.
If we ever develop an audience, they will come to know us.
Oh god, I hope that doesn't happen. Oh, real quick, I had like a gift exchange a couple of days ago where it was like a white elephant. I ended up getting a gift that was it's a Slytherin wall clock.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah, so that was fairly fitting, I guess.
It was like
Huh.
basically meant for you.
But anyways, yeah. What I think we should start out with is either Kaguya, the Domestic no Kanojo, or Boogie Pop, since we're still on the fence about those. Although I don't know if we've dropped Kaguya yet. Not because it's bad, but because I mean this episode was also kind of funny.
I mean, I watched it because it was funny, so we could talk about
Yeah.
it. But I mean, we're probably going to drop it for the same reasons we're going to talk about here in a second.
I mean, yeah, it was kind of funny. I laughed.
Uh,
And that was about
yeah.
it.
it was also really weird because it started out and it was like
Oh.
basically the same like first 5 minutes as the first episode.
yeah.
because between basically the chapter that got animated last episode and this episode, the manga switched magazines. So like
Okay.
he basically like redid the first thing, and for some reason they thought they needed to like just reanimate it for some reason, even though there's no point, which I didn't
Okay.
understand.
I
Like-
mean, I guess it's like, what was it a whole chapter? Like is the whole introduction a chapter, or was it like half of the chapter was the introduction and half of the chapter was like the first bit?
I don't fucking remember, but like if that's the case, why not just translate or why not just adapt the back half?
Well, because essentially it would, like, they only have so much, or they have a certain amount of time that they have to fulfill, and so like they currently have it spaced out so that like each bit is whatever it is, 8 minutes or something like that. And
Okay,
so if
yeah.
they only did half of a chapter, and each chapter usually spaced out as 8 minutes. If they tried to just take half of a chapter and make that 8 minutes, it would be really weirdly paced. So maybe they just, for the sake of pacing, redid the front half because they couldn't pick any other full chapter. Because I assume all of the rest of the chapters are full chapters, and they don't have to reintroduce themselves in a third magazine.
I think what would have ended up happening is like even if they try to use like a future like short chapter that they might have, it probably had future characters that they didn't want,
Okay.
immediately.
Yeah, that makes sense too.
So yeah. But yeah, the gag in this one, Kaguya. Actually, I don't fucking remember.
There was the phone. There
Oh,
was
yes, the phone.
The trip to either the mountain or the beach.
Yeah.
And then finally, there was a
oh,
confession.
the confession, like how to confess to
How to
somebody.
confess to someone. Oh my god.
A story by a virgin.
The ending of that was the best. And then he somehow got the girl.
I just love that, like, at the very beginning of it, they were like, I forget what exactly the whole progression was, but it was essentially like he was convinced that Kaguya was gonna make fun of him for being a virgin. The only thing I can remember is that Kaguya is like a super virgin. Like we're gonna get to some point where she basically doesn't understand sexual innuendo. She
Oh.
freaks out at the smallest thing.
Oh.
She is the super virgin, and he's like convinced that she's gonna hate him if she finds out that he is a virgin also.
My favorite part was when he starts like making fun of her and then notice her in the fucking door and he's like, shit. Like he still likes her, he doesn't want her to get mad at her, so he stops
Right.
talking about it.
I don't even know if it was because he likes her so much as he was like, she's gonna fucking kill me.
Little column A, little column B.
That's probably a good breakdown. You're probably right.
Pearl was yeah, she's kind of like this know-it-all rich girl. She's kind of a piece of shit. I hate her.
But
By
that's
which
what
I mean,
By which I mean she's the best girl ever.
the last bit was pretty good.
Yeah.
Other than that,
Oh, we get a tease at another character who doesn't like getting taking photos taken of him.
do we?
Yeah, the long-haired kid. The other guy.
Right.
Oh.
I remember. I just don't remember seeing him.
He was in like when they were talking about going to the mountains. He was like there in the pictures, but he was
Oh,
blurred
okay.
out.
Oh, okay.
That was the gag of that part.
Got it.
But that's essentially what happened in this episode of Kaguya. Once again, I think almost all the jokes landed. They were all pretty funny. I still like that fucking opening. That man's voice is so soothing. And that's about it.
The narrator.
Not the narrator, the singer. He's fucking delicious. I don't know.
It is the opening for Kaguya is very like 1970s-y.
Yeah. It actually it feels very similar to an opening for James Bond.
Oh, does it?
A little bit. Someone like used the opening of James Bond with the opening, well, not superimposed, but using the song on the in the opening, and it kind of fits. But you can definitely see like if you
The
were to,
song from Kaguya on the James Bond opening, or the other way around?
other way around, the song from James Bond on the Kaguya opening, because
Got
like
it.
a lot of like the trippy effects kind of reminded me at least of the James Bond openings, which had that very like weird, it always did something different and kind of crazy.
Well, yeah, it was like I said, it's very like 1970s,
Yeah.
80s with like the psychedelic. It's the way they run. It's the way that like the rainbow colors sort of progress down the characters.
Yeah.
Like it's very 1970s, 80s, like pop culture-y kind of look to it.
And I fucking loved it.
So I think that's why you can relate it to James Bond. But I think there's a whole bunch of movies in that era that it kind of relates to.
Because James Bond did it that way. I'm pretty sure they're trying to copy
Well,
James
because a
Bond.
lot of things did it that way, because that was the popular way of doing it in that time.
No, it was a popular way of doing it because of James Bond. Because it like just the way they had the opening.
I don't think that's necessarily true.
I think like James Bond was like one of the first to do it and like do it well. So like that kind of made everyone want to do these types of openings.
I mean, you might be right, but having
I have no
source on that.
yeah, I have
I'm
no
not
source.
willing to be like convinced by you, but maybe.
I'll try to find a source later, but I remember reading something about it that made that argument. I'll try to find
Okay.
it at some point.
Okay.
Maybe not. I don't fucking know.
Brandon.
Yes?
Do you know what that technique is called in the opening, where like from the center there's like a mirror image coming, going to left and right sides?
Mirrored. Oh, you mean like the kaleidoscope shit they do in like halfway through the opening?
Yeah.
The kaleidoscope? I don't know.
That's it. Okay.
I'll look through Resolve, my video editing software, and see if it's called anything, or even if I can do it. Who knows? There we go. And then we also had Domestic Nakanojo, which I don't hate it. It's the only way I could put it. I still watched it.
Don't remember what happened. I'll be honest.
The blue-haired girl slaps the shit out of her sister and like drags her to bed.
Right.
At some point, like they talk at school, and she's like, they have like some weird bit where they're like making fun of each other, and everyone laughs, and everyone wants to be her friend, and she's like, I don't really care. And then their parents get super drunk. That's about it. Oh, there's like some bullshit about how the teacher has like a boyfriend who like is breaking up with her, or she's breaking up with him. They didn't really say anything about it because that would be plot. So I don't fucking know. But there's like this one weird scene where like she goes out to confront him, comes back inside, hears a knock, tells him to go away. 2 seconds later, hears another knock, and like then all the children trio like have their like exchange. Hears the knock again. Rui opens the door, and it's their parents, who I presume were the people who knocked the first time.
Uh-huh.
So like I don't get that fucking scene. Cause like a total of like 30 seconds pass by, and there's no way some dude like leaves and their parents are like knocking on the door within those 2 seconds, without them saying like, oh yeah, there's like some weird fucking dude outside. Like, who was that? They're like, yo, we're back. We've been here knocking for 30 fucking seconds. Why didn't you open the door? It's fucking dumb. And I think that's where the episode ends.
I think you're right. So one of the things that is starting to bug me about it, more from a plot perspective than anything, is just that, like, I guess the way the show is presenting it is that, like, right now, like, the main girl, if there is one, is like the teacher as far as the main character is concerned, whereas blue-haired Rui is like side piece essentially at the moment. And it's like, just with all of like how the teacher is like, there's just something about it. Like that whole last scene like set my teeth on edge, and I was just like, why is she our main character? Like, she's such a whingy fuck.
They're all whingy fucks.
Except for Rui. Rui's awesome.
Yes, she is awesome. I fucking love her. But
Rui's
like,
a baller.
You said you didn't like her last episode.
Rui?
Or maybe I was confusing that with teacher, because Alex immediately knew I was gonna love that character.
Yeah, I mean,
but yeah, she's just kind of annoying. I really don't like the teacher. I was hoping the teacher would be a fucking baller, but she's not. She's just kind of annoying. She's a complete
like,
fuck up too.
Is that like the main focus of the characters in the show is like the dude is pursuing the teacher and Rui sort of just exists on the side.
Also, there was that weird thing where she was like, I want to have sex with you, but not really, kind of. Like, come into the shower with me.
Right.
But then she, like, she like, in the flip of a fucking frame, she goes from, like, I want you face to, like, get the fuck out of here. Like, in a fucking frame.
Doesn't he say, I thought he put his foot in his mouth at some point in that.
I don't know
like
what
he said something like super douchey or something like that.
I think so. I wouldn't be surprised. But that's what fucking happens with her. Also, I think we should bring back the shower counter for this show if you ended up watching it, because I think it's gonna be a top contender. It's gonna go head to head with Citrus.
Jesus, that shower counter we had in Citrus.
There's like maybe a
so
total of 10.
for so long. It was like we were like 8 for 8 at one point, I think, in Citrus or something like that.
Fucking shower scenes, dude. Yeah, I think that might be another thing with this show. But who knows? But yeah, so I did mention earlier that, or in this past episode, that I didn't hate anyone's voice. I'm going to hate the voice of the girl with the twin tails from that opening. I can already guarantee it. Like, my spidey senses are tingling. Her voice, fucking annoying. Prediction by Brandon.
The twin tails from the opening.
She kind of has like auburn hair, like red hair.
Does she speak in the opening, or are
No.
you just talking about like from seeing her face?
Just from seeing her, I'm like, she's gonna be annoying.
Okay. Well, that'll be interesting.
Let's see if I'm right.
I don't exactly remember the opening, like what it exactly sounds like. But I think this and some parts of Dororo's opening both fall into the category of like, I love the music, I kind of don't like the song. Like
the instrumentation?
Yeah, like the instrument and like how it's composed and all of that is like phenomenal for this and Dororo. I love both of their like actual instrument and like all of that. It's just like the singing, like parts of the singing, it's just like I just want it to go away.
Oh, I love the song for this. Like, I like the entire thing for Domestic Nakano Joe.
I think Domestic Nakano Joe is one of the ones that it's like I remember parts of Dororo's I don't like. Mostly it's the English spoken parts of Dororo's.
Yeah, I don't like that. Like the part where they do like that high pitched, like weird kind of folksy vocals. I fucking love that shit with the horses running in the background. I thought that shit was fucking awesome.
Right.
But
and like there's the entire scene where it's like him fighting and like the reflection of the blade, like that whole thing is like I love it. It's just like the beginning and the end where he's talking about like he says like the word playing and he says some other English word and it's like every time we get there it just sets my teeth on edge.
It's definitely because we know how to speak English and like know how it sounds.
Right.
I think yeah, if we didn't know it, we would like it a
Well,
bit
because
more.
it's also like so much of the song it feels like is like it's such a Japanese show, like set
Yeah.
in like medieval era Japan. Fuck, I can't speak English.
Well, no one
It's
can.
set in like medieval era Japan, and so like I just want the song to be exclusively Japanese. I don't
Okay.
want it to have English components to it.
All right. Yeah, I guess that's like that's the end of the Mask of the Cottage show. Is I really still want it to be bad. I think
want it
it
to
might
get
get
worse.
there. I think it might get there, but I don't know yet.
It might, but I don't know.
Who knows?
I feel like we're gonna get into like this is gonna be some like the teacher's boyfriend abuses her or something. Like it's just gonna get super dark, but not in an interesting way. I feel like.
Yeah, much like the first episode of Sight.
Oh.
Alex, you can say something?
Huh? No, just like I want because like I've been kind of disappointed on like some shows that are like premises. Oh, this show's gonna be super scummy as fuck, but no, not really. When you end up watching it,
Yeah.
Oh, you want that trashy shit, don't you?
oh hell,
Oh god, that's half of what I was looking for yesterday when I was like looking for manga. I was like,
You're looking for manga. You're just like look for the trashiest shit.
I was like, yeah, let's look for this trash. I just want absolute garbage.
I
didn't
want
find
like fucking K or Spanish drama type levels of shit.
it. See, that's what I'm hoping this is. I want it to be like a Mexican soap opera.
What was that thing we were watching, Brandon? Rose of whatever.
Rosa Guadalupe.
Yeah.
Oh my god. See, that's not
The
trashy.
imagined story that we had going on for that show was so good.
See, that's not trashy. That's just like overly melodramatic, which I want. Yeah, that's what I want the Domestic Conjure to be. Just like dumb melodrama that
Exactly.
like becomes just fucking off the wall stupid.
Like fucking what is it? I want there to be like I don't know, the mom finds out that oh, you slept with both my daughters? Divorce.
Oh my god, that'd be such a good fucking plot point. I can't wait.
Oh god, it would be such a weird plot point.
You guys heard it
So
here first.
awkward.
Everything about this show is awkward.
I mean, at least he banged the one daughter while they like weren't related. If there was like another,
They're gonna bang
maybe
again.
it comes down to like this whole like discussion of like incest. Like it gets weird.
They're gonna bang
if I
again.
think too hard about this show, it gets real weird.
They're gonna bang again.
I
Like,
think
I
Brad
can-
nail on the head when last week he said he wants it to be school days. It's like, yes, I want school days.
Because there's a bunch of more girls, and presumably they're also gonna bang the main dude. Because I guess he's attractive?
I guess for anime,
Oh, I can't tell.
I don't know.
Maybe
It's impossible to tell. 'cause-
It's not like he can't use personality because he doesn't have one.
right.
Who the fuck knows?
Uh,
I also like that yet again we have a main character whose friends are raging dick sucks when it comes to relationships.
Have you ever like met an anime character, an anime friend character who like was a bro?
Fuck.
Not
What was
Ori
her name?
Monogatari was one.
Fuck. What was her name? The other girl in Citrus. Fuck,
Oh my
what was
god,
her
you mean
name?
Best Girl? Fuck,
Yeah,
I don't even remember
what
her
was
name.
Her name.
I forgot about
We
her.
were talking about her for like a season about how good of a bro she was. She was like best bro all time.
All right, hold on, let me look this up.
That was what I'm talking about though. Like fucking main girl like whinged about her like weird incest Yuri relationship, and fucking best girl all time was like, hit that shit.
Was it
You got this.
Harumi?
we've
Was that-
than you.
It was Harumi. Oh yeah, because she called it Haru.
Right.
Yep, it was Haru.
Haru. Fucking best bro all time. Hands down, no contest.
Definitely. Yeah, there's that main character, or the side character from Ori Monogatari. Shit, that's really fucking it.
I remember Haru because we talked about her for a season. Other than that, I can't think of another one though.
Not in the shows we've watched. I can't think of another
Definitely
bro.
not the shows that we watched.
Those we watched. Hell no.
Because Sight, everyone was a dickhead.
Well, I mean, blonde-haired girl's kind of a bro.
kind of, but she was also a love interest, as it turns out at the end.
Oh right. I forgot about that.
When it became Surprise Yuri.
The Yuri undertones. How did we miss it?
What was... It was Sight, Ore, and...
Megalobox?
Okay.
Yeah. Megalobox had no Yuri undertones.
You have no Yuri undertones.
Because there's a total of one female character.
We had Yuri undertones in Sight and Yuri overtones in
like Yuri
Ore.
Yaoi overtones. It depends on which form they were in that moment.
Point, you're right. They were Yaoi.
Or straight as well. Once again, depending on what forms they had in what scene.
It's true. Was it the opening or the ending that had the
the ending where she's like crying, which is really fucking dark if you think about it.
Super dark.
And then he's just smoking a cigarette in the background.
The one girl smoking, or the one dude smoking a cigarette, the other one crying himself to sleep. Yeah.
So on to Boogie Pop.
On to Boogie Pop.
Wherein they decided not to like have that weird storytelling mechanism where everything's all over the place. Instead, it is basically just a straight story from beginning to end for this one. It started in the past and then ended in further ahead in the past. Or present, I guess. I don't know. Oh my god, I had reading in my ears.
I now need to look. I need to know if I actually... Let's find out. I did actually watch this episode. Oh, I remember this episode now. Okay.
Yes, it was the episode with future serial killer who like is talking to some students who go to his prep school, and he's like a counselor as part of this prep school, and he helps people out, and he like at first it's very awkward because he's talking about like how she's not budding or how like there's no flower or whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, where is this heading?
It was real creepy right off the bat.
And then it doesn't like become less. Well, I guess it does become less creepy because like he sees people's like hearts as roses. Like he can visualize a person as a rose. Essentially, is his like power, and it can tell metaphorically what they're missing.
Well, he can see what the rose is missing, but it doesn't always like translate. Apparently, like he doesn't know what it means all the time.
Oh yes.
Is I think what he said.
Regardless, it is a metaphor. Like yes.
But it was real weird right off the bat where he was like, it was like, I forget what he was listing.
She's missing roots.
She had no roots, and he was like, her leaves are okay, and she has a very large bud, and then it was like a shot of her chest.
Yeah.
I was like, why?
I'm pretty that
why though?
That was intended. I'm pretty sure that was intended to like have that thought.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
'Cause,
I
like-
mean, there was no other way to interpret that.
Well, it's a
though.
double entendre because he's also looking at her heart.
I mean, I get that, but like, but why though?
I don't because I guess he is supposed to come off as kind of creepy because he does end up becoming a serial killer. So like we're supposed to feel unease about him. Like even if he's like a kind of an okay person for the first half, well even towards like basically for like 80% of the episode he's like an okay person, and then just instantly like decides to want to go kill people or whatever the fuck he's doing
out of nowhere.
I would say kind of out of nowhere. Like I did like how they're trying to like how Imaginator, who I guess is the main antagonist for this arc, like is pushing him, but like he seems to like not really care about it.
Yeah.
For like most of it, like he doesn't really seem phased. Like he's still scared as shit because some fucking ghost girl is making fun of him and like making like his adoptive little sisters like try to like grope him, and he's just like, get away from me, I don't want you. So he I guess he reacts normally. He like is scared, but I guess the real trigger is when he sees one of his older students basically like decrepit and selling drugs out in the streets. I guess that's where it kind of flips for him. But like I didn't really get that sense that that's really what caused it, because they still seem very.
It was a very weird change because like in most of the scene that we saw of like him talking to the Imaginator in the form of his like methed out student, he was very like uncomfortable with it, and then like when he watches her kill herself he's like very surprised by it, like visually upset by it, and like the next scene is him like going out and serial killing people. So like it was a very weird transition that I feel like they didn't really do like justice as to why it was happening.
Yeah. Like that didn't come through. I feel like a scene was missing.
There was definitely some like
I think something was missing.
emotional development at least, or like internal, discussion with himself about it or
Yeah,
something.
because like in 2 seconds he goes from student counselor to fucking Light Yagami about to like kill people. he like that shot was like Light Yagami shit, wasn't it?
It was.
I could probably like find a Death Note picture that looks exactly the same.
I'm Light Yagami, bitch.
Yeah.
I've got the Death Note. I'm gonna kill y'all motherfuckers. But yeah, no, he fucking like rolls up in the alleyway in like the next scene with like the full on like my hair, which is also swept off to the side, is somehow shadowing my entire face awkwardly.
Well, he was in an alley, so I guess there's that.
I don't know.
I don't
But
know.
it was a very bizarre look because like I said, his hair is like off to the one side, but his whole face was, or like half of his face
Yeah.
was in shadow. Like the top half of his face was all in shadow.
How else would he
Like-
know? Well, sorry, go ahead.
There's like one quarter of his face where it's like, how is this in shadow? Like if he had a hood on or if his like head was bowed or something, I could get it. But he was like full on face up, but like half of his face was still in shadow somehow.
Well, Nick, how else would he know that he's about to do something badass / serial killer-ish?
True.
There's no way to know. His
forgot that.
entire face that looks like anger personified.
In the rules of anime, as soon as somebody's going to do something badass, the rules of physics no longer apply.
Yeah, light just stops working in one half of their face. I do.
Them's the brakes.
Yeah, I do like how during that scene though he like is talking to Imaginator, and we can hear, as the audience we can hear, but like the little boys who are basically about to get fucking shafted are like just don't know what the fuck this crazy dude's doing.
Right.
Because presumably, like I think he just sticks his hand into people's chests and just takes out the rose.
I guess.
Because we saw like a stylized version of this, which the stylized version I actually really liked, like how they depicted it. I didn't really know what was going on, but it just looked kind of cool. Where like everything's like triangle-ish and looks very like austere and sharp. And then it comes to this, and that part I guess is cut out, like how exactly he's performing his supernatural shit.
Mhm.
But what happens is the aftermath is like they just stop moving. That's what I got from it. Like they just stopped moving.
Yeah, they were
Like-
just like mannequined in like whatever pose he was when he like knife-handed them essentially.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was also like not very well explained what exactly was happening.
Much
Because
like everything else.
True, very true. It is a running problem with this show. But like in that very like austere, stylized depiction that they had that you were talking about earlier, it did have like when he shoved his hand into him, it had like this explosion of red, and it was like the only other color in the scene because everything else was in grayscale.
Yeah, I thought they were gonna like bleed. Like I thought he was actually gonna like just shove his hand through people's chests.
Right, I did too. But then like it could also just be like he's punching the rose out of them,
I
or
think
he's
that's
like
what's-
ripping
yeah.
the flower off of the rose or something.
Brooding, maybe?
Yeah,
He
he could
just
be uprooting the rose. Yeah.
he's just taking out the rose. Is what I'm pretty sure is what's happening. But like in that scene, we didn't know what the aftermath was. And I guess it is that they just stopped moving. But like that wouldn't really make sense. If anything, I feel like
Yeah.
they would just become kind of zombies who just have no desire to do anything, because that would make not logical sense, or that would make thematic sense with what the rose is supposed to like represent. At least the rose he sees.
They did have like the very classic like dead inside flat anime eyes once he did like the chest punch to them.
But yeah, like the thing is,
Like-
they're just not moving though. So are we supposed to assume like they just don't
Well,
want
it,
to
it
move?
wasn't just that they were not moving. It's like the lights were off.
Yeah.
essentially. Like there was nothing left going on. It wasn't like they were still human, but it wasn't necessarily like they were dead. I guess they just were like they were empty.
Okay.
So
I guess they're shells. They're quite literally
Yeah.
shells now that can't do anything.
I guess that's basically what they were trying to say is they were basically shells that can't do anything, and I guess they felt that having them just be stuck in that pose that they got hit in is like a better way to depict it than having them like zombie, limp.
I feel like an extra thing would be like I guess give them like kind of a weird color, like kind of like that cicada shell, like the kind of a sandish color maybe.
Okay. Hmm.
I feel like that may have conveyed it a bit more, but I don't know what else I would have gotten out of it. But anyways, that was the episode in a nutshell. I liked it. I felt like the characterization for I don't even know his name. Just the main dude from this episode was kind of good.
The counselor.
The counselor. Yeah, I cannot like tell who is who. Like, there's just so many fucking people that they just like, here, know all of them right away.
Right.
Luckily, at least here, they basically just focused on that one dude and Imaginator, and somewhat with that like girl who's his next door neighbor kind of ish.
Uh-huh.
I think she goes to the same school as everyone else does, as Boogie Pop does. I don't know. I don't recognize her.
She was very like surprisingly okay with like when Imaginator showed up.
That's
Like
the thing.
every
Like,
time she showed up, he was like he was upset by it, and at the same time, like he never really expressed like true horror of like what the fuck is happening.
yeah, like he kind of just accepts the fact that this girl like just is floating in midair, and no one else can see her.
It was real weird.
Yeah.
But that was the episode. I liked it.
I guess next episode we're probably gonna have the return of Boogie Pop.
Well, Boogie Pop was in this episode twice, at the end and at the beginning.
No, was she in at the end?
Yeah, at the beginning she was like talking about talking to Imaginator and how I think she should kill herself or something. I don't remember.
Oh.
I forgot what the actual exchange was. But I think what you're supposed to gather from that scene is that the girl isn't the girl anymore. She's now like this other entity called Imaginator. And once she like kills herself, she like leaves her body and like becomes that like the weird image thing, ghost person. And at the end, we have the friend of the girl who killed herself earlier, wanting to do the same thing because her best friend died. And then Big Cop shows up and she's like, she's not. You're not gonna go to where she is, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, I'm not gonna kill myself anymore. And Big Cop's all right, cool. I can mark another one down. Boom. Lives saved. One more. Lives killed. Another one. And that's how this book ended, if I remember correctly.
Boogie Pop is actually DJ Khaled.
Yeah.
We didn't mention this. I forgot to bring it up because I forgot which show it was in. Did you watch the end of Domestic No Kana Joe?
What do you mean the end?
Like through the ending to like the actual credits with the. Basically, what I'm asking is, did you see the weird ass pictures
yes!
they had?
I was like, what the fuck? Did that happen in the first episode?
I don't remember. I just saw it in this episode, and I was like, "What the fuck is this shit?"
See, this is what makes me think that this show wants to be trashy, because they pulled shit like this.
So, what we're referencing, and you should make note of this. You can whip a fucking picture of this up, assuming it won't get we won't get fucking beat down by YouTube for including a picture of this. But they straight up had like some fucking gravure idol from Japan do some bikini shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I think on one of her ass cheeks she had like next episode.
Yeah.
On it.
On the side of her fucking ass, it had the next episode and the title of the episode. It was so I don't remember it from the first episode, and so it just sort of appeared, and I was like, what the fuck am I looking at?
I don't even know how I got to that part, because I remember I don't remember actually. Yes, because I did watch the whole ending because I kind of liked the song and I wanted to hear some more of it, and that's how I got to the very end where we got that image.
But yeah, it was well, because the thing is the episode, the ending is it's got a minute and a half for the ending song, and then there's another minute and a half for the
the actual credits. Yeah.
And so every time I see that there is more than a minute and a half worth of time left in a video, I always skip through to go to the end so I can see oh, is there after credit scenes? And so I just skipped through and saw this shit, and I don't remember doing it for last episode. I don't remember skipping through, so I don't know if it was there or not. So,
but the real question is, will they keep doing it? And will it progress? I'm excited.
It'll be like Gamers.
Oh my god!
Just at the end of every episode, they just have a lewd image.
It's their way of hooking people in. They're like, fuck, how do we get people to watch the whole show? I don't know, just post some ass at the end.
I mean, hey.
It worked for me.
Yeah, true dad.
Uh, so moving on to the shows we actually enjoyed quite well. I haven't been enjoying like some of these episodes, but more often than not, I will be enjoying Dororo and Shield Hero more. Which one would you like to talk about first? Dororo row? Is it 2 rows or 3 rows?
I think it's only 2.
Dororo. That sounds
Dororo.
weird.
It does, but like I feel like that's because you've convinced yourself there are more rows. Because every time we talk about it, we just keep saying rows because you don't want to stop.
I think
Like
it's because
every time we bring up Dororo, we just go Dororo.
no, it's because of Durarara, which has 3 raws,
Oh,
and it's essentially the same fucking title.
I get fucked up by Bo.
Oh my god.
Bo.
Well, since we're on the topic, Dororo. In this episode, we have our hero, Little Dororo, and his puppet, Hyakumaru.
Yakimaru.
And they find this village that is being tormented by some weird fucking ghost thing.
Yeah.
The before credits scene is the weird ghost thing, like kind of just ringing a bell, and we see old man's Japanese stick confronting this demon, and
Brandon's
basically
favorite Japanese stick.
Japanese stick, and he just kind of goes off and fucks off and does his own thing. They happen across this town, and they hear that they're being tormented by demons. They're like, "Yo, let's make some fucking money," because Dororo is all about that cash money. He knows what he's about, and I love him.
I do like that they show up in this town. The town people are immediately like, "Kill this demon for us," and they're like, "Yeah, sure, we'll do that." And they're like, "Sweet, here, have all this shit for free."
Yeah.
Like they feed them, they fucking give them a place to stay. Like they do all sorts of shit for these people just because they said like, "Oh yes, we'll definitely kill your demons for you."
Because I guess in this world,
Especially with like what
demons
we
are
learn
real.
about later.
Yeah.
Fucking idiots.
They are kind of dumb. But anyways, they also, they go to sleep, they eat. During the night, fucking demon dude with the bell comes by. Dororo thinks that's the demon, and technically he is correct. That's the demon that they want killed. But Hyakumaru doesn't want to fight him because they mentioned this a bit later.
Well, they made I believe they made a allusion to it earlier in the episode where Hyakumaru like dodges around Dororo and like
Yeah.
you see from his perspective for a moment with like the white flame.
Well, no, I think during that part the narrator actually explains what it is.
I don't think the narrator ever explains what it is.
No, it was just the white flame by itself.
Was it? Okay, because I thought the narrator explained it at some point.
No, you have Japanese Stick explain it in a
Yeah.
little bit, but I don't think the narrator ever explains it. I think you just see the white
Just
flame.
like, oh, he sees things differently, but that's about it. Maybe like just partial information.
Yeah, I now that
No,
Alex
I
says
don't know.
that, I think he might be right. I do kind of remember something like that where it's like the narrator. It's not that he explains it, but he says something like Hyakumaru can't see,
But
or
he can
sees
sense it,
things
yeah.
the way that they are, or something like that. Like he says it in very obscure terms,
I'm
but they
pretty sure.
don't explain
Yeah.
it.
But I do think the narrator says he sees innocent things like Dororo as a white flame and basically demons as a red flame. I'm pretty sure.
I think Japanese Stick says that.
Okay.
Stickful.
Well, that would make sense that Stick says it because he does see that way as well.
Yeah.
But, anyways, after that night and after Dororo, fails to make Hyakumaru fight the demon because the demon has a white soul, he apologizes to fucking idiot mayor, who's like, oh, that's fine. Just go meet our fucking matriarch, this one lady. They go to meet her. What was that, Alex?
Lord Orochimaru.
Yes,
Basically.
Lord Orochimaru. So they go meet this lady, and she's like in the bed, because she's in the bed. And Dororo's like, "Oh my god, that lady's so pretty. She's like my mom." And Hyakumaru's like, "Yo, this lady's a bitch. I'm gonna kill her."
I mean, I don't think he's like this lady's a bitch. He's like, this soul is red, fam.
The soul. I don't like the soul, Charlie. It mocks me with its smug aura. Essentially, what happens, and he starts taking out his knife hands and just starts running at her. Of course, Mayor stops her from doing anything, and Dororo apologizes, and then they head over to this is the dungeon basically, because they throw him in the dungeon at some point, and that's where they meet
think-
Stick.
It's like kind of a dungeon. I don't think it's below ground. They just kind of
It's
throw him in like
a
the
jail type place.
the people holding the cell.
And that's where we see like some weird like I wouldn't say it's a snake because it kind of looked like a lion type thing, like a silver lion. It looked like a beast, not a snake, when it kind of like puts its paw over the well. Dororo smacks it and then tries to chase after it, and then Stick and Dororo follow and go through the well, and that's where they go up. The actual outside well. Right?
The outside well, also called a drainage pipe.
Oh, okay, never mind, because I thought they actually went up a well. But yeah, it was a drainage pipe.
I don't think they go outside. I think they go down the well and then they kind of just go through like the sewer.
That's a sewer
kind
type
of?
place, yeah. I
Yeah.
think that was the potty hole.
I think it definitely was. It was the waste dumping hole or something. Everybody brings their bucket.
Yeah, they go outside, and they go ahead and confront what's her face, Lord Orochimaru. And then she like shows off her true form, which is Orochimaru, and then they
Yeah.
fight.
Wasn't she like? She was like she had like the bait side on the one end, which was like
Yeah, it was kind of like angler.
Orochimaru, and the other side was like monster side.
Yeah, it was like anglerfish type shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was her design.
She had the old bait and switch.
But in
But yeah, so fucking Dororo like throws down with her for a little while. He gets like arm stabbed at one point, and it's one of those things like you don't think about it because in classic anime style, like the fact that he doesn't react to it in any significant way is like not shocking because like a lot of the times main characters don't. But like
It makes
as you
sense in
learn
this.
later in the episode, it becomes relevant that he didn't react.
yes,
Um,
because I guess what we're supposed to like gain from that is that he got his nervous system back.
yeah, I believe he got his nerves there at the end, and suddenly experienced pain for the first time ever.
Oh no, what is this? These aren't my eyes.
Hurts everywhere.
Why couldn't I have gotten my eyes?
Yeah, seriously.
But after,
Weird
yeah,
when he gets his eyes, fucking the prosthetic is gonna pop out, and then the eye is like gonna form afterwards. It's gonna be real weird.
oh, it's gonna be fucking freaky. I can't wait. So yeah, he kills Lord Orochimaru, and then the other demon, the benevolent demon, shows up and still rings the bell, which scares the shit out of
Bad mayor.
Bad Mayor, who's like, no, he's still haunting us
The
with
bells.
the bells. And the reason he's still haunting is because like he was like a rich dude who came by, wanted some help, and then they're like, we're gonna fucking kill you.
Well, I don't know if he was a rich dude so much as he was just like a traveler.
I think
and
he's a
guess
merchant.
Back in the top.
He was a merchant.
Yeah, well, he was some like
Pilgrim.
oh yeah, he was a pilgrim.
Oh.
That's what it was. He was a pilgrim, and it was like back in the day, like when you went traveling, you had legit traveling money. Like you brought a lot of money for your travels because it was like you needed to have money for every single night you were going to be on the road, and you were going to be on the road for a whole bunch of nights. So you had like a whole bunch of traveling money. So they killed him, and I guess he had more money that he was going to like donate as a pilgrim. So they killed him and took all of his money / buried him in the woods with some of it for some reason. And now he like haunts the village.
Yeah. But I think they kill him because the lady tells them to.
I think they're feeding people. I think they're feeding people to the lady.
But like he was the
Yeah.
first person.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was the first one. But I think like from what we saw in the sewer and like the pilgrim dude, I think we're supposed to take that like they were essentially like kidnapping people
Yeah.
and like feeding them to the Orochimaru lady
And then taking the money.
and taking their money to like be prosperous as a village.
And that was Dororo. Once again, yes, at the end we do get, we see that he has his nervous system back. Stick is not going to be a mentor to Hyakkimaru, I believe, is what's going to happen.
So
I guess
we,
we can like
we
travel
finally
together.
have two characters who can talk, so we don't have to have just Dororo talk to himself for 20 minutes every episode, which is kind of good.
I don't know, his like solo bantering was pretty fun.
It was okay, but I don't know if it was like 20 minutes for.
I don't think
however
it's
many
24
good.
episodes type bantering though.
Yeah, so I'm kind of glad we got Japanese Stick to hang out with us for a while. So that'll be good for the show.
And on top of that, he also knows who he is or who Hyakkimaru is.
Oh yeah, we learned Hyakkimaru told Dororo his name through writing on the ground, which God knows how he developed that.
Probably the prosthetic guy probably taught him like how to write it.
Yeah, but he can't see and he can't feel because he didn't have a nervous system. So how do you teach somebody who can't see, hear, or feel how to write?
Fuck, I don't know, dude. Like, I don't know, magic seeing shit.
He also can't smell or taste. He
You
has
know what?
no senses.
I think I know what it is. He
What?
he can sense names.
He can sense names.
He can sense names. That's what the white aura does. Like, the white aura will shape into the form of their name.
The most hyphy of all
You
powers.
heard it here.
Nay.
I'm
If
making
it's-
complete bullshit up.
I choose to believe.
I feel like I've like seen that in other anime before, so I'm gonna say yeah, maybe.
See, at least Helen Keller like knew how to feel. Like, she could feel stuff.
Yeah. Dude, shout out to Helen Keller.
What did you have again that like caused everything to go to shit? Like, was it like
It's a
pneumonia?
real struggle. I'm gonna guess tuberculosis.
I think it was TB. Yeah, it was probably TB.
That's a solid like that time period. Like it'll fuck your shit up.
He'll fuck everything up
disease.
if you live. Yeah, like you can
Yeah.
live through it, but you'll be screwed for your rest of your
And
life.
it wasn't polio for sure, because I think polio is like you get like crippled.
You get the iron lung.
You get the iron lung, or you get what the president had, and you have to chill out in a wheelchair for the rest of your life, pretty
Yeah.
much. Was
So-
that FDR who had polio?
Yes, FDR.
Okay. I know things. I've forgotten more things than I know, but I knew some stuff. She had meningitis, is what she had.
Oh, okay. So moving
Well,
on,
she might have had meningitis. We don't apparently know.
Oh.
All right. Anyways.
she could have been born with it. So moving on to Shield Hero, we finally get the first part of training the raccoon girl,
Yes.
well, Tanuki girl, because
Tanuki girl.
so fun fact, actually looked this up. Raccoons, Tanuki is not related.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
So it's not
Weird.
really correct to call her a raccoon girl.
What is she? What are Tanukis like most closely related to?
I only looked it up like what they are related to. So let me see.
I mean, didn't the slave dude literally call her a raccoon human or whatever?
A demi-human.
I mean, it could also just be like, English to Japanese or Japanese to English. Subtitling is like kind of lazy sometimes, and they're like, white people don't know the difference.
Foxes.
Tanukis are basically raccoons as far as white people are concerned.
Closest thing is foxes.
Interesting.
Okay.
All right then. So she's like almost a fox girl. Hype.
Oh no, you gotta wait 10 episodes for that. But yeah, she's kind of fox dog shit. I guess the raccoon dog name makes sense because it is a canid.
Okay. I guess that does make sense.
So she's a raccoon dog girl. Oh no, I just dropped my pen. Yeah.
I didn't really. So I talked a little bit last time about when we were complaining about how like the show can be like kind of gamey at times, and like it kind of takes away from the show in certain aspects. And I was talking about how like they kind of left out a lot of like the gaminess from this scene, and like how that was kind of a good thing. I didn't really like it as much as I thought I would with the start of this episode, just because without like the way they do it in the light novel is like a lot more clinical when he goes to like look at the slaves. Like he doesn't evaluate them based on like his personal feelings. He's just like, which one can I turn into an efficient like work slave essentially?
I think the reason
all
they
that it
did
is.
that was because they didn't have time. I think this is one of the things they had to cut.
I get it, but at the same time it changes the like take of that scene from like he's picking this slave because it can become an efficient work slave to like he's picking it because it's a young girl and he's trying to like save her from slavery, and like it gets very like white knighty, and like that's not the takeaway that you're supposed to have in this scene. And like it sort of like changes the tone of like him as a character right now, and like I didn't really like it. Like it too radically changed his characterization in my mind.
It did. I remember when you told me that last week, and I just had to look back. It's like, oh, it was he chose her because of the stats. That changes a lot of things for me. But
Yeah.
at the same time, I feel like I remember in the manga when he was talking to the slaver, he was like, Oh, so what kind of slave are you looking for? Oh, something that's female and obedient.
Did I say
I feel
that?
like requirements. Uh,
um,
I don't remember
talking
that
anime,
part. I do
it's
remember the
in the
stats
manga.
thing.
I don't remember if he asked for a female obedient slave necessarily. He may think it to himself as like a vindictive thing of like, I want to get back at that bitch. Is like, I'm gonna buy some chick and just fucking run her into the ground as my slave. Because he was like super vindictive at this point in the source material. Like he does not give a fuck about anybody or anything. Is like what
Oh,
his character's supposed to be at the moment. Um, like he barely sees Raftalia as like she exists one half step above like animal in his mind. The fact that she is a living creature is like barely a consideration as far as he's concerned.
I guess that's
And
like,
so
but it's probably like the biggest change they had then, because like nothing in this episode ever really like shows that.
yeah, and that's kind of why I was upset with like parts like a certain components of this episode is like a lot of the way they present stuff in this episode like changes his characterization slightly too radically from where it's supposed to be.
But that's eventually that is like his character though. Like that's what he becomes.
Right. And like they do have parts of it that are kept, like the whole like when he eats food he can't taste it thing. Like he
Yeah.
derives no enjoyment from anything is like still preserved in like, you know, some of the scenes we have. So like they're still trying to do it, but they're not trying to do it like as sadistically as the light novel did it.
yeah.
And so when we get to the like ultimate payoff to this like whole, you know, sadistic personality scene in a couple episodes, it's really going to change the tone of it because it's going to be less like emotional like character developing moment and more of just like a reconfirmation of him being such a good guy that it's already like the show is already trying to present him as. So I don't know, basically what I'm trying to say is I'm not really in love with this character at the moment.
Okay.
The adaptation leaves slightly more to be desired than I care.
But I also
uh,
feel like that's just like whenever like an anime gets adapted from manga or light novel, it doesn't have like the same tone. Some tone is like lost from adaptation.
I guess so, but this is like Nick's right. This is a super radical turn. I don't remember that from the manga too much. I always remember him like really liking her and like treating her well. But that's probably because like, it's been so long since I read those first couple chapters.
I can really only speak to the light novel. I don't know how exactly they present it in the manga even, but the light novel is super dark with it for like most of the first volume because the payoff to this is at the end of the first volume. So
Wherein
it's
he
basically
does like
just
see her as a nice or as a person.
yeah, where he like basically has like his coming to God moment and kind of re-establishes his own humanity. Because like the most telling thing, and it's going to be a component to this that I don't think they're going to adapt because it's something that can only really be done as a light novel component, is until the scene that I'm talking about that happens at the end of the first volume where he has his like coming to God moment, he doesn't actually understand that she ages. Because he doesn't visually like he doesn't comprehend that she's a person even really. She's just like
Oh,
a thing that fights for him. And so he treats her like a child for so long, and all the other characters comment on like how weird it is or like how she's growing up. And he the blacksmith at some point comments on like how hot she gets, and in his mind he's like, what a fucking pedo weirdo. But like she's a full grown like she's a full grown, you know, raccoon girl at this point. She's, you know, looks like a 16-year-old, 17-year-old or whatever. But like in his mind he's still the small slave child that he bought, and like he can't actually visualize that she has grown up in any way because he doesn't see her as like a real thing.
No, I think they could still do it. Like if they still like actually animate her as like how he sees her. I think they might be doing that.
maybe.
They could. It doesn't happen for a little bit. It definitely happens after the two-headed dog thing. So we'll see in the next like 2 or 3 episodes if whether or not she grows up and he doesn't react to it. We'll see how they do it.
Who knows? But yeah, I would agree with that. Is that this is supposed to be a redemption arc for him, wherein he does become kind of his old self again. You know,
Okay.
a happier person. And he already kind of feels that way. I guess there needs to be something else that he's angry at. For us to see like him just how angry he is at everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His
It's-
angriness at the world doesn't come out in like it doesn't come out in a lot of instances, so it is kind of hard to see it, but like it's especially true with like when we get to the first wave and we reunite with the other heroes. We start after the first wave, you like see the other heroes multiple times, and I think like when he's interacting with the other heroes, that's when his like anger at the world comes out more.
Well, we'll see that next episode.
From like what I remember from the manga, like the whole redemption thing to God. In the manga, when he gets like betrayed by the chick, it seemed like, oh, he got, I don't know, betrayed by the world. But in the anime, it just seems like, oh, my girlfriend cheated on me, kind of like betrayal.
No, what? Everyone's like angry at him.
Yeah, but just like of how it felt differently.
I don't know. I felt like everyone was like pissed off at this kid. I thought the manga did that at least pretty well, or the show did that pretty well.
It's hard. Like, I don't know if it's because I just kind of mentally block out the beginning so much because I just don't like it until I basically don't like Shield Hero until he becomes super like I hate everything
Until he becomes Shield Hero.
until he becomes Shield Hero basically, yeah. But it's just like so much of the beginning is like the other three heroes like kind of just roll over on him immediately of like, you're a useless person anyways. Like we're not gonna help. Like when they establish parties, the other heroes get like all of the party members, and Shield Hero has nothing. And so Shield Hero, complains, and the other heroes are like, yeah, but I mean, I'm not gonna ask any of my companions to go with the Shield Hero. I mean, come on.
I mean, they were grilling him before that too. It's like when they were all in their rooms together. It's like, oh, since you have the shield, you're regarded as the weakest.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to cut all that out.
Yes, you're gonna
Presumably,
have to do all of
I
that.
just cut it all out. So
Hopefully it's gone.
yes, I was kind of correct about my assumption as to like why this all happens. I think I think they're gonna come back to it. I think they're gonna come to it in the anime. Because after you did explain it, I did remember all those things.
I think we're gonna get through pretty much everything that I talked about.
Get to the dragon shield.
I definitely think we're gonna get to the Dragon Shield.
Well, I mean, it's in the opening.
Yeah.
What-
The Dragon Shield isn't even that far in.
Also, I always thought it was a
in-
Black Fire Shield for some reason.
Well, it is technically the Black Fire
Right?
Shield, but he
Okay.
gets it when he's fighting. He gets
Yeah.
it from a dragon.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that fight happens like right after the first wave, so we're definitely gonna get to the dragon component or the dragon.
We're
fight.
gonna get to that soon because the first wave is next episode.
Yeah, I mean he gets
Yeah.
the first level of the. It's called the Shield of Wrath, I think.
I
he
think
gets the
so.
the first level of the Shield of Wrath really early. But whatchamacallit, I don't know how far exactly we're gonna get. I think we're gonna get through. I hope we get up to the fucking beach island arc. I love that arc.
I'm just hoping it gets past where I stop.
Okay.
Mostly just because fucking I want to see them adapt my two favorite characters, who are awesome.
Okay.
And Scythe Hero and
Oh.
other person.
Yeah. Well, bringing it back to the opening, I didn't like the opening. It didn't. It didn't click with
For
me.
Shield Hero.
Yeah,
I don't remember it. I'll be honest.
it didn't click with me.
Watching part of it, just skip the rest.
Yeah. Although I did like
yeah.
the ending. It was very pretty, very nice.
I really need to get on the openings and endings of these shows.
I always try them at least once. I'll probably be skipping the opening for Shield Hero, and then just
Like,
rocking out to the ending while I'm on my phone.
Oh, they're probably gonna do two openings for this, aren't they? Because it's
Yes.
25 episodes, so there's probably gonna be a first half and a second half opening.
Hopefully, there is a better second half opening.
So we're definitely gonna get the second wave from what I just saw, which is good. All right. So we're definitely gonna get through the second wave.
Oh yeah, the second wave is the one with the ships, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Where you meet
Okay.
Glass for the first time, who is a delight.
ship battle.
Kind of.
Fuck, what was the other thing? Oh, the sound design in this, that was really cool.
I didn't hear anything that great. Was it the pickaxe and stuff?
It was when they go into the mine. Like, I swear to God, they change how they're doing the voice recording because it sounds like they're in like a tunnel, basically, all of a sudden.
They could have just added an echo or a reverb type
they
stuff.
added like a reverb into it. But like the attention to detail to do that just because of the scene change was really cool. I don't think enough things do stuff like that. So I'm always going to bring attention to like when really cool sound design stuff happens because I really like it. I really appreciate the attention to detail by the studio.
I did not notice it.
Because I mean, it's a scene that is like a minute and a half at I think. So like the amount of like effort somebody had to put in to like do all of the reverb for that minute and a half for like all of the voice line was way more effort than it was worth for that scene. But it was really cool to see. I appreciated it.
I wouldn't know, because when you guys, the last time you mentioned good sound design was with Angels of Death, and I never noticed it.
But for those fucking barrels cracking, it sounded so nice, but the show sucked so bad.
Yeah, the show was fucking off. Like anything that was like, anytime it was like objects hitting other objects, it sounded really good. Everything else was kind of garbage.
Yeah.
Or not everything else. The only other thing was people talking, and a lot of people had annoying voices in Angels of Death. But like Zack like swinging his scythe around, boxes breaking. Except for, was that the show that had the really weedy gunshots?
Oh my god, you mean the fucking pea shooters?
Yeah, the fucking that was the sum total of its like gunshot noise.
Yeah, like everything else was like everything else about like the way things sounded was so cool, and then you get this little like tiny fucking pea shooter sound. I was disappointed.
It sounded like an air gun essentially.
It probably
was. It didn't sound like an actual like explosion. It was just like a, and that was it.
Well, anyways, yeah, that was our discussion on Shield Hero. We're gonna get the first wave next episode, and I can't wait.
I think we're gonna get.
I'm pretty sure it's called the first wave.
Oh, is it? Okay, maybe.
It's either like everything leading up to the first wave, and then it happens, or it is the first wave.
We're definitely at least going to get like deployed on the first wave in the next episode. I don't know if we're gonna get through the first wave. We might. They cover a decent amount of ground in each episode. I don't think we have a lot to go through either, so we might actually get through the first wave. I might be wrong.
Okay.
We'll see. But we're at least going to start it for sure.
Hopefully.
But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they do a lot of things. Because, like, there's some stuff coming up in, like, later episodes that get very, like, it's very attention to detail-y at times, and, like, a lot of characters sort of show up with like very different motives. So it'll be interesting to see kind of how they decide to adapt it and like how well they do certain scenes.
I mean, if it is attention to detail, you'll have to watch it. You will have to pay attention because here's an example: is in this episode, he gets the blue mushroom shield and he like doesn't explain what it is. Well, he quickly like sees what it is, and in the very next scene, he's actually using it. They don't draw attention to it, but you see the back of the blue mushroom shield, and he's giving Raph the medicine. So they don't like say he is using this for this. They just quickly show it.
Yeah.
I thought it
So
was just.
you thought it was what?
I thought it was just his base shield, because
Nope.
the only other one was rope, and then the what's it called, airstrike shield.
Yep, it's one of those things. If like you're not paying attention, you might miss it.
Yep. Damn.
And I like that. It's not telling you anything.
Yeah.
It's just showing you. It's not like that specific example was very important, but
Right.
you know, it is nice that they don't draw that much attention to it. Moreover, they're drawing attention to the fact that he's taking care of her. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about?
Is there anything else I wanted to bring up with Shield Hero?
Or basically, literally anything else? Because I feel like I've said all I needed to say.
Same.
I don't
Oh my
think there's
god.
much else I
One
wanted to
free
go
hero. Oh, one free summer. Oh, one free summon.
over.
What?
For some reason, I read one free summer instead of one free summon.
You thought you were going to get one free summer hero?
Yeah, I was disappointed.
That is disappointing.
All right, live and in color. Which hero will I get? I'm gonna roll for a waifu, so it's gonna be green. Fuck! I didn't get any greens.
Oh.
God, fuck this. I got
Maybe a
Priscilla.
3-star.
I got a 4-star Priscilla.
Okay.
Fuck this. It was either that or fucking some Marth wannabe. Ugh. God damn it.
Fair. Is there anything else in this season that you guys have been watching?
Mob Psycho.
Not yet.
I fucking love Mob Psycho.
Alex, have you watched Kakegurui yet?
No, been busy.
Okay. The first episode, I don't know if I just watched the wrong episode or like it does start as weirdly as I think, but like I'm pretty sure the first episode just starts. Like shit's just going down in the first episode immediately.
First season?
Oh, the second
No.
season.
The first episode of the second season.
Okay. Oh, you finished the first one already?
Yeah.
So
I
like
finished the first
it continues
a while
and
ago.
like just keeps going.
It doesn't continue. Like as far as I could tell, like it's a time skip essentially.
Oh.
Or I'm sorry, it's not a time skip. It's just like it's like a full scene from the future. Because like the very end of the episode, they go back in time and reintroduce like the
What's
point
hap-
of this arc. Like I
Okay.
know what's happening in this arc. It's the election arc. Which doesn't mean anything to you guys because you're not reading it.
There's
but
always an election arc.
there is always an election arc though. But they're doing the election arc, and so like I understand what's happening. I just have never seen, like, I don't know most of the election arc because like it just started getting adapted in the manga is fairly recently. And so like the scene that they're doing is like I guess way later in the source material, so I have no idea what's happening. But it just like literally I started the first episode and shit was just going down. Like they were gambling as soon as the episode started. She was getting her freak on almost immediately.
Ooh.
I was about it. Shit was hyphy.
Well, Alex, you weren't here for this, but on the same vein as manga, I found that Yahari has a manga, so I looked through the latest chapter, and it was stuff I didn't recognize, so I was like, ooh, maybe there's some more shit to get into. So I started to read it, and I started to read it from the very beginning, for some reason, and I got up to chapter 30, which was around the same time as the election arc for that show. And then I got to the end of the chapter, pressed next chapter, and then I got a little pop-up saying, there's a chapter missing. The next chapter that we have on this database is chapter 64. I was on chapter 30. There are 33 fucking chapters, which is like, are fucking missing apparently. I couldn't fucking find them.
Hate that when that happens, because that happened to me with JoJo like so many times.
It's so fucking weird though. 30 fucking chapters. I couldn't find any fucking like manga reader that had any of these. Now I'm salty because I just wanted to continue it. No, I
It's
can't.
like usually maybe 2-3 chapters, then the next one, and they keep doing that. Not like a giant break like that.
Yeah, there's literally like volumes missing. So, I have that.
Whole volumes of
Entire fucking
information.
volumes. Aside from that, I've still been watching Gundam, Alex.
Oh, what are you on?
I'm still on the first one, the first series.
Otherwise,
I mean, they're all really fucking long.
just like what are you on? Like what episode?
35 or 6, 36, 35 or 36
Jesus.
of the
Christ.
original. There's 42 episodes. By the way, I just remember this, Nick, but that one episode I told you about that was only in Japanese and not dubbed. The reason it wasn't dubbed was because the director of the show was like, yeah, this episode is garbage. Don't translate it. So everyone was like, all right.
Solid.
So they just didn't do it. So while the narrator is like talking about what the next episode is, and they're showing clips from the episode that never got dubbed, they're talking about what happens in the episode after that.
That's awesome.
There's also some funny shit with the narrator. At some point, one of the characters dies, and there's like, this character dies. Blah, blah, also happens. Blah, blah, also happens. But here's the thing. The narrator always says this one thing before the end of the episode, and that's, who will survive? So, the first thing that this man says is, this person dies, and then ends it with, who will survive? I don't fucking know, dude. You just fucking told me who died. God. This happens twice! I don't get why they kept doing it. That's been my week.
And what a week it's been.
What a week it's been. With this week, I'd like to sell out to valets. Friday night was the first time I had to deal with valets, and I didn't know what the fuck to do. I felt very uncomfortable letting some random guy into my car while it was on. But I saw him park it, so I was like, alright, well, fuck it. He's not gonna take it away.
Did you just stand there next to the valet podium watching some other guy park your car?
Well, I mean, I was waiting for my friend, so I kind of had to wait too.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't know if I was like, I don't know if this was like an improper thing to do, like watch them park or fucking, I don't know. But
I
at the end
feel
of it,
like most people do that.
but like here's the thing, at the end,
Like,
I forgot to
for
tip
some-
him. You're supposed to tip
Oh.
valets, right?
Yes.
Ooh.
Completely fucking forgot.
Yeah.
Like
That dude thought you were a douchebag.
he was like, here's your fucking car. I'm like, alright, I'm just fucking gonna go.
Yeah, he thought
I'm-
you were a real douchebag.
Was there a sign that said like,
Well, there wasn't a sign that said tip your valet, so there was that. I was
There's
told.
generally not a sign that says tip your valet. Well, it depends on where you went.
"Are
Also, I didn't like see like a little like tip jar.
You generally don't you don't put the jars in, or you don't put the tips in jars.
Man,
You
fuck,
generally
whatever.
hand it to the guy who drives your car.
I already said
Or
the
I'm
restaurant.
assuming you went to like a high class establishment. This is shit you have to know.
I didn't fucking know we were going here either. Like, I showed up at my friend's house and I'm like, yo, at least you're dressed nice. And I'm like, wait, where the fuck are we going? And then when I fucking showed up to the restaurant, there's a valet trying to like take my car. I walk in and like there's fucking old white people everywhere, like wearing suits and shit. And I just looked at my friends and told them, why the fuck didn't you tell me this? Like, we have one friend in a fucking Pikachu hoodie. We've got another one in a fucking Second Amendment relevant since 1791 shit. We're severely underdressed.
ooh, wow."
So if the valet thinking you were a douchebag wasn't too much to break your soul, literally everyone in that restaurant hated you.
Oh, we fucking heard. They're like kids in here. I was like, man, fuck, whatever.
Wow, this
Fuck
place
'em.
is really standards.
Fuck those white people.
Fair, they sort of deserve it, but I mean, come on, man.
Also, fuck my friends. I didn't know we were going here. I like, okay, so the place was Capital Grill. To me, it sounds like, you know, kind of like a So's type of place, where it's casual, so you go there and, you know, you eat food. It's apparently like a very high class place. They hand us an iPad and we got to choose a wine. So we're like, all right then. Fun fact: spent a lot of money that night.
Interesting.
Also had some really good fucking steak. Oh my god,
And somehow didn't tip your valet at the end of it.
completely forgot.
What an asshole.
Yeah, valets selling out to them because I forgot to tip mine.
Remember, kids, even if there's not a sign, tip your valets. Don't be a douchebag.
I'll remember for next time.
I guess I'm gonna sell it to the city of Washington D.C. because when the government shut down, they like got super AFU'd and somehow have managed to in the past like couple weeks pass a whole bunch of like legislation / figure their shit out enough to like make sure their city isn't a gigantic shithole while the government is shut down.
Because no one's in the city right now.
Well, nobody's in the city except for all of Christmas when we had tourists and
Oh,
like
yeah.
all of the park service wasn't cleaning up the trash, and so the city just had to like foot the bill and do it themselves.
This is true.
Also,
right?
apparently, whatever institution issues marriage licenses in DC was a federal institution, and so when the government closed, the city of DC couldn't issue a marriage license for a while.
Yeah, because
They
like
had
they're
to
not taking a
pass
state.
bill. Yeah, they had to pass a bill giving the mayor like special privilege to do it. So the city of DC is like having to figure out all of their shit very quickly because of this government shutdown, but they're doing a pretty decent job, I think.
Yeah, because like most of it, well, yeah, some of those services are like state based, so like for them instead it's federal based. So like shit happens.
Yeah.
What's the longest our government's been shut down?
This.
Yeah, it's
Well,
this.
depends on what you also mean by shut down.
Yeah, because this is technically like a partial shutdown, not a full
Right.
shutdown.
Because only federal workers are technically not getting paid, but the military is still like covered, and like there's a whole bunch of other federal institutions that are covered.
Like partial then, yeah.
Yeah,
For
it's
partial,
this.
this is officially the longest one. Before this, I think it was 25,
20
24?
No, it wasn't it Obama's like in 2010ish?
It was still in like the mid-20s, I think.
Oh, all right.
This passed longest a while ago.
I think like 5 days ago. I think. Don't remember.
A while ago, yeah.
But this has been the longest.
And then next Friday, so the 25th, is going to be the second paycheck that people are going to miss. And if we make it to the 25th without a financial plan, shit is going to pop off.
Yeah.
I am ready.
Riot!
It's about to be hype.
Let's go riot, Nick.
I'm so down to riot.
Let's get some riot punch. Let's get a yellow vest on. Let's fucking go.
Let's go. Dude, shit's about to be so hyphy in 5 days.
Alex, put on your fucking high-go sweater. We're fucking going.
Break out the gas mask, boys.
Sorry, I got called by my uncles to shoot, to just in case shoot some people on the roofs.
off your fucking...
Shout out to the Watts riots when
The roof Koreans.
were shooting at black people from the roofs of their stores.
Long time tradition.
A long time tradition.
Yeah, man, gotta go to the Lottes.
I guess
And
Alex is selling out to the roof Koreans.
The roof Koreans.
Yeah. The proudest moment I've ever been Korean when I learned about that. I'm proud of my race now.
Not
When your people defended their stuff against black people.
It wasn't when
Yeah.
Korea let Mexico go on to the tournament round.
Yeah.
Man, Mexicans were pretty hypey about that.
Mexicans were. Koreans were more like middle of the road about it.
Not the ambassador,
The ambassador
from Korea
got
to
freaked
Mexico.
the hell out of it, dude.
Oh my
I mean,
God.
Of course he's gonna be hyped about that.
Man was doing shots outside his fucking office. Didn't I
Well,
show
they
you
turned
that,
off
Alex?
What's up?
I'll show you this later.
Okay.
It's probably a good thing they turned off the camera after the shots, because I'm sure at some point they also rolled up like a tray of cocaine. And they were like, "Do a line."
You're assuming he's not doing lines already.
That's fair. He could have been doing lines all day.
He's an ambassador.
I'm experiencing the culture of these beautiful people.
More or less, he's a politician, and most politicians are on cocaine.
That is definitely fair.
Are ambassadors technically politicians?
Yeah.
They're appointed officials, I think. I don't know, like, what you would define as politician, but they are like appointed government officials, I think.
Okay. So, Alex, what would you like to actually sell out to?
Screw it. I'll sell it to TCG Player for all your card game needs.
Okay.
Fair.
Understandable. I get a lot of my cards from there, too.
Yep.
If it wasn't obvious already, we all play Magic.
Yeah.
We're all ultra nerds.
Oh, no.
I don't know if we could say ultra nerds. I think we have to start LARPing in order to be ultra nerds.
I mean, we did LARP.
Good.
We beat each other with foam swords. Doesn't count as LARPing.
Okay.
Oh, you want like full on armor and all that?
I mean, at the very least, there has to be some sort of like we do it. in
Oh,
a
like some
park,
story
other
type
people-
thing?
Yeah, like there has to be some sort of setting to
Okay.
it, and then it becomes LARPing. Up until this point, it was just like we beat the crap out of each other with foam swords.
Man, that was
Basically
fucking
just-
fun.
Honestly, I just count it when if we put on like helmets. Okay. this is
It's
as
one step one step above what I used to do as a child, in which we beat the shit out of each other with whatever we could fit in our
Yeah.
hands.
Yo,
Yeah,
like,
fucking-
having to dodge those, like, foam, like, those foam hits across, like, your chest and face, like, really gave my back a workout. Like, I was
Oh,
feeling it, like, all throughout my glutes, my lower back. I was like, ugh.
Oh, Nick, me and B, we didn't go to the gym for like 3 weeks straight, and that was our first workout.
Oh, I was fucking tired.
Rough. Whoo.
That was fucking fun, though. I'd fucking do it again.
Oh, hell yeah.
It was pretty fun.
Yeah, if you guys ever get the chance, hit each other with foam swords. Very fun.
I feel like we would be real shit at actual LARPing though, because when the actual LARPers came in, they just beat the crap out of everybody pretty
Well,
much.
there was that one girl who, like, walked behind everyone, just, like, fucking smacked them in the chest, and, like, you're fucking gone now, because no one noticed her. Every
Well,
single
'cause nobody
fucking
said
time.
anything.
Yeah.
Like somebody would die to her, and then she would just walk behind, and the person who's dead wouldn't say
Bop,
anything.
bop,
and
bop,
nobody like,
bop.
next to him would say anything.
Well, actually, all three of them did that. All three of the LARPers, like, did that on multiple occasions.
Yeah, because it's just an awareness thing. Like you're absolutely gonna exploit that if you can.
God. Well, this has been the episode 47 of ABC.
Without special guest Jeffrey, because he's a
Fucking
bitch
Jeffrey.
once again.
Where the fuck is
Fucking
he?
Jeffrey.
Jeffrey!
To be fair, we did say we were going to do this on Saturday, and then never actually do it on Saturdays.
All right, let's do it on Saturday this week.
All right, that's fair.
We'll see what happens.
We'll try to
Yeah.
keep it to Saturday.
Mostly
We
because
might
our plans
fail.
were very like flip floppy this Saturday. Like maybe we were gonna go to pre-release, but then not. But then I didn't want to, and then like some other shit happened.
Maybe are we going to like hang out or not?
Yeah.
I basically can't do anything on Saturdays. Well, I can't do anything on Saturday day, 'cause, like all day Saturday.
You have to
So it's
proctor?
basically
Yeah.
just like I get released from my job in like the middle of the afternoon on Saturday, and I just like look, like, what are we doing today? What did the guys decide to do? And I kind of just show up places.
All right. Well, anyways, yes, that was episode 47. I'm pretty sure no one wants to hear about our plans,
That's true.
what few we have.
How ABC develops and what days we record on. Who gives a shit?
I was Brandon. I almost said
Hi.
Eric again.
I am still Nick, and I don't have a second name. My mistake.
James.
I don't call myself James
Yeah,
ever.
yeah, you're right. Never mind. Midget Manic.
Fair. I also has my name in it. I'm only mildly offended every time somebody asks if I'm a midget, which happens way too often.
I mean, like, but why midget? Never mind. Just
It's an entire story.
it's
about-
yeah, it is a story if I'm right.
There's an entire story that exists from when I was younger.
And that's Alex who can't talk right now.
Yeah, Alex speaking the wonderful language of Mumbleese.
Well, no, mostly because Mumbleese plus the shitty mic.
Yeah, it is more the shitty mic today.
Broke your fucking mic, Alex.
Thank you, my wonderful audience of 0 people. It's a delight.
Your
having you
wonderful
here.
audience.
Shut the fuck up, Brandon.
Ours.
They're mine.